So a few days ago, I audited an ad account spending $200,000 a month, and the ad names looked like test video number 1, UGC V3 final 2, angle 2 copy 3, $500,000 a month in sales, and the team couldn't tell which ad was actually driving sales. It wasn't because they didn't care, it was because they didn't have a system. And look, I run 99ads.com, we spent well over $300 million in ad spend, and one of the biggest differences between teams that scale and teams that stall is how they name their ads. Most advertisers spend real money on Meta, but they can't read what's working because their naming is chaos. And a solid structure fixes that. A clean naming convention turns data into decisions. So here's what I'm going to show you. The exact naming structure we use internally. And this is the same one our consulting clients install inside their teams. Once you see it, you'll understand exactly why you've been stuck chasing the next winner and how to finally build a creative system that compounds instead of resetting every single week. So let's jump in. All right, this is a big one. If you don't use this, you're simply leaving money on the table. So listen up. This is the template we use at 99ads.com. And this is also the template we give our consulting clients. This is the one we just help them build internally for their own company. Now, this is a very simple template, incredibly effective, but very simple, meaning that these are the default variables that we want to track pretty much on all businesses. With that being said, depending on what you're selling, you might want to track different variables. You want to monitor and keep an eye on different variables. If that's the case, simply edit this. These are drop downs. There's a simple formula at the end. You can ask GPT how to fix it depending on the variables that you want to track. But this is it. It's as simple as this. The hardest part when it comes to the ad naming convention is not to build it, but to stick to it. And the reason why usually teams don't stick to the naming convention is because they have a hard time communicating between creative strategists, media buyers, video editors. This fixes it, because when the creative strategist builds their brief, they go here, they copy and paste this naming convention, this name that's ready to go, and when the video editor receives the brief, they can already find the right name for the right ad. That's it. When the media buyer receives the ads from the creative department, each ad is named the right way. So the media buyer takes the ad, launches the ad, done. And the beauty of having a great naming convention is that everything becomes 10 times easier. You can read performance faster without previewing any ad. You can sort out the ads based on whatever variable you want to track. Let's say you are the creative strategist, you're working on your next brief, and you want to know how your ads are performing for with a specific model. Let's call it with Caddy. So on my business manager, my ad account, I just type Caddy as ad name contains Caddy, and it shows me all of the ads that include Caddy in the name. So just by adding this simple drop down, now I have a way for my creative strategist, for my media buyer, to see how the ads that include this specific model perform, which is pretty crazy. And guess what? This also helps you when it comes to third-party tools like Hyros and Motion. You do the same thing. You can rank and sort all of your ads way faster than you would do it if you didn't have a naming convention. And it's mind-boggling to me how many big stores don't have an optimized naming convention. And this is the easiest money you can find in your ad account. And once you start implementing the system, every ad you launch turns into usable data. And I can keep on selling you this forever. It's just something that you should implement. So let's talk about how it works. these are the columns that we track. Obviously, we don't do this for all clients. Let's say one client is doing VSLs, then they're gonna have a like different set of variables that they want to track. However, most of these ads are like most of the ads we create follow this naming convention. You might want to go incredibly specific, but then it becomes harder to track and monitor and analyze each and every one of the variables. And for some reason, back in the days, we used to be like to have many more variables, but we noticed that our creative strategists were using it less, paradoxically. Whereas if you have less variables, but the right ones, then they're gonna keep on using it, and you're gonna see your results compound, which is kind of the beauty of this template. Now, let's go through the template, each column one by one. So the first one is the batch. And as I'm showing you this, I will build a new ad name, so you can see how it works. Let's say we're on batch number 3. Batch is basically every week we deliver a new batch of ads. Each batch contains multiple concepts, and each concept contains multiple variations. And as you can see here, as I type 3, the name starts getting built, which is pretty crazy. And as you can see here, batch number 3. Let's say it's concept number 2 that we're working on in variation number 1. 99 ads, dash B3, C2, V1. So every time I want, I can just head over to my ad account, copy and paste this, and I can find all of the ads of this specific batch and this specific concept. It's pretty awesome, and it's very fast. Now, the next column, column D, is the test type. This is the iteration name. We have 4, so we either have a brand new ad, which we call just new, then we have early iterations, script iteration, fine-tuning iterations, and late iterations. Let's say this is a script iterations, and let's move forward. Here you have a video ad. The audience is parents, and it adds parents. Angle, let's call it acne breakouts. Type of ad, let's call it reviews. Awareness. I'm not sure if you watched one of my last videos, but we have built and we have added this new column, awareness, after the Andromeda rollout. And what we noticed is that once we find winners, we want to recreate different variations of that specific winner for other levels of awareness. And initially, we used the Eugene Schwartz levels of awareness, the classic unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, must aware. And for some reason, we find it hard to compartmentalize the ads based on this structure, whereas it's much easier for us to just recreate the levels of awareness based on where the prospect is in the buying journey. And what we found is that we have indifferent people, frustrated people, open people, and ready people. So these are the 4 we use. And if you haven't watched the video, I would highly recommend you do it. I'll just put it here, and you can watch it after you finish this one. Now, product, column J, is just the name of the product you are promoting. This can be an offer rather than a product, but in this case, let's call it test product. As you can see, it comes up here. Model. Let's say this one was with Ellis. And this is pretty much it. This is as simple as it looks, meaning this is exactly the type of naming convention you want to adopt for your store. If I was to check out on my Motion account right now, and I was to write acne break to copy and paste from angle to reviews, this entire part, copy and paste it on Motion, it would show me all of the ads that are reviews and that are targeting people through the acne breakouts angle. It's pretty insane and it's pretty amazing. And when you are the creative strategist, or when you are the media buyer, or when you are the head of growth of your store and you want to make sure you understand What are the best performing angles so that we can double down on those? Or what are the best performing audiences so that we can double down on those? This is it. This is what makes your life 1,000 times easier. And we also added here a comment section and a delivery date so that your creative strategists can keep track of everything right here. And the media buyers can also drop their comments. It sounds simple, but it's very effective. And another upside of having something like this is that as time goes by, you see the number of batches, and you should see a huge improvement in terms of performance if your creative strategists are doing a good job in terms of learning from the insights that they get from this naming convention. Again, this is something very simple, incredibly cheap, actually free, that you can start implementing today, and that it's just gonna give you many more winning ads that you're currently finding if you're not doing this. Now that you've seen how it works and how simple it is, you can probably imagine the difference this makes once it's in place. Every test you run, every creative you launch feeds back clean data you can trust. And that's how scaling becomes predictable rather than stressful. And if you're not seeing the consistency you want, book a creative turnaround call with my team. In 30 minutes, we'll review your creative system, identify the key bottlenecks, and give you a roadmap to scale again with clarity. And if you're spending over $30,000 a month on ads, you can book this call for free at 99ads.com/demo. You'll find the link in the description. You'll walk away with a clear roadmap of how to solve your bottlenecks and start scaling again fast. So book it for free at 99ads.com/demo. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.